I'm a very systematic guy. I create system pretty much every area of my life. For example, if you take a look at my schedule, you won't see I call it default calendar and my calendar. My default calendar repeats every week, the same thing. If every Monday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. I do all my paperwork, follow-ups, and conditions on files, that's what I do every Monday. Every Wednesday, let's say 6 to 8, I do phone calls. Well, guess what? If you call me on Wednesday, Mice, let's hang out, and you tell me 6 o'clock, my answer 99% of the time is going to be no.
Okay.
Because I'm going to follow my default calendar.
So call you after 8.
Call you after or 8 or before 6.
Okay.
Why? Because when you become entrepreneur and you're running a business, you don't have a boss. Well, guess what? I create an artificial boss, and that's my calendar. And when I put it in my calendar, and I have it color coded. Blue is my default. Yellow ones is my appointments that I built around the default calendar. And when I follow that, I realize that it keeps me very organized and very disciplined.
Yeah.
And everything I did, there's a saying, right? How do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time. So everything I do in my business or in my life, I break it down into small pieces. In my phone, I have over 5,000 contacts, close to 6,000. So I'm like, how can I reach these people? Mm-hmm. If I take the 5,000 and divide by, let's say I work 300 days out of the year, minus the weekends and vacations, right? So all I have to do, if we do simple math, if I take the 5,000, let's say, and divide by 300 days, that's only 16 contacts a day. And
So
16,
you took 60 days vacation.
Minus the weekends, minus the vacations, let's say 300 days out of the week I work. But look at the 16 numbers. If I tell you can't call 5,000 people, you're going to think that's crazy. If you take 16, that's a combination of probably 5 phone calls a day, 5 text messages a day, and 5 emails a day. Then end of the year, you're going to realize you just reached these 5,000 people. And then what happens, people remember you, you build your database, they don't run from you. So systems help me a lot. I'm very organized on system. I don't mean to brag, but that's what helped me. Yeah. That's what helped me to stay organized. And just, respect your schedule. Like if I say, I'm going to do this or I'm going to be here, 99% of the time I'm very respectful to my schedule, because that helps me to create success. Because if you delay something, it overlaps, and the whole day or whole week, it's kind of gets a mess. So
you're catching up.
Yeah, that's what helped me, I guess.
As an entrepreneur, you go through negative times and positive times.
Okay.
How do you overcome the negative moments?
Number one, I don't take it personal. Why take it personal? End of the day, you take things personal if it's part of your personal life. What's a personal life to me? It's my family, it's my parents, it's the closest people to me. Even if they say something, you got to be so loving and caring, not even take that to a certain degree of personal level, but especially from business, from a client. Someone just met you, someone just called you, they talk to you like in a wrong tone. Why am I'm going to take that personal and just kill my mood and my day? A lot of salespeople and business people, they take clients' feedback so personal, they go for a coma for a week. And they're like, no, screw this client, never going to call them. And not only they don't call that client as a follow-up, they don't make any phone calls next 2 weeks. And then you look at their pipeline, it all gets dry.
Yeah.
It hurts the other clients that were waiting for your call, because this client pissed you off, you took it personal, and you didn't follow up the clients who were waiting on your phone call. They run away, go somewhere else. You lose on both ways. So that's number one. I don't take things personal. Yeah.
What about motivation and whenever you're feeling down? Because you can't be motivated, let's be honest. You can't be motivated
all the
single
time.
Day.
No.
Every single hour.
You can't. I think the way God created us, God gave us emotions, and nothing wrong feeling emotional, but you got to balance it and control it. So one thing that helps me to stay motivated and focused and positive most of the time, I know exactly what I want out of life, and I focus on what I have in my life versus what I don't have. I mean, take a look. Just today, how do you got here? You drove here, right? So, number one, you have eyes to see. Number two, you have legs to walk to your car, right? Those are
Yes.
the things that we never think about. So if you value the things that every day you have, and sometimes we say those are the small things. No, those are the big things. A few days ago, I went to City of Hope. One of my person that I know from our church, her son got diagnosed with leukemia cancer, and I went. We prayed for him, and he's only 28.
Wow.
So in my mind, I'm like, when I left there and I got home, that night when I was sleeping, I asked myself, "Mais, that guy is 28. I'm 40. He never got married. I got married. He never experienced having a kid. I did. Mais, wake up. Be more thankful about your life." So that mindset, being thankful and being thankful for what you have, keeps you motivated. And even if negative things happens to you, because you have that settings in your mind right, hey, don't take that negativity for one day. 5 minutes, 5 seconds sometimes. That's it. Move on. Next. That's what helped me. So
That, I mean, that's the thing. We take everything for granted.
yeah.
You know, some people don't see it, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, they wish they can see. That's
Yeah.
all they pray for.
Yeah.
You know, there was a saying that said, you know, some people have a nice expensive watch, but they don't have the time. You know, they have a big home,
Yeah.
but they don't have a family to fill it. You
Yeah.
know, so it's just, I think a lot of the problems we have is because of
I think
we
it's all,
focus on the wrong things.
Sarkis, you have a phone.
Mhm.
Greg, you have a phone. I have a phone. If we put all of our phones next to each other, it's the same phone, but has different settings,
Mhm.
right? Someone calls you, based on your settings, is gonna vibrate or ring or silent, then mine, then yours, or whatever apps we're using. Well, our brain has settings too. We gotta adjust it, and it's
Yeah.
we're the one who putting those settings. If someone talks to you in a different way and you get pissed every time, that's your problem.
Yeah.
You gotta change your setting. Takes that into a different way. Not only in business but in personal life, every area of your life. So I guess that really helped me a lot. So
You got to factory reset yourself at some point.
reset, reboot.
Reboot. I mean, whatever you call that, but
Yeah.
you need that reset. You know, like sometimes it's a vacation,
Yeah.
sometimes it's getting away, sometimes because you're the worst enemy of yourself. You know,
Absolutely.
because you're the one who
100%.
talks to yourself
100%.
90% of the time. It's
Yeah.
you talking to you.
Yeah.
The other 10%, somebody talks to you. Like, how many times in a day you talk to somebody else? It's like maybe 1%
Yeah.
of your day
100%.
that somebody talks to you, but the other 90%
You
that
talk
you're
to
by
yourself,
yourself,
yeah.
what happens?
Yeah.
You know, if people are really crazy in a way because they're talking to themselves, because I think everybody does, right?
Yeah.
You kind of tell yourself, oh, I can't do this. Give you an example. My son, like today, and I always told him, I said, when you take tests, just say, hey, this is easy. I want to get this done. And then he was number one in the classroom, and he's like, Dad, you know what I did? I go, what?
Yeah.
He goes, I said to myself, this is so easy. He goes, I took it, and and now he knows it works, right? But it's just a
How come you
psychological
didn't
thing.
tell me that when I was taking my test?
I didn't even know that. I wasn't that wise at those days, bro.
He was spelling his tests too.
Yeah, I had, me, what it is me when it came to tests, it was the most horrible thing. I could study stuff, but I will remember things. But when it came to test time, I'm like dumb as it can be. It's like I just stared at it. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I learned this, but and then I get off the test and I can tell you what to do to pass the test,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And then they're like, dude, you didn't pass it. Why are you
Yeah.
telling me? I'm like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I remember what's up.
I think those public places that we go and take the tests, you know how when you go to Vegas, they spray something in the air for you to stay awake. They do the opposite.
Yeah.
Those test centers, or there's something in the air.
Yeah.
It's just like you sleep, right?
Yeah.
You come out, you're like, what did I just do?
Where was I?
I used to
Yeah.
hate those test centers,
Yeah.
especially with the life and all the securities.
Oh,
When you go there, it's like almost like prison. They put you behind the glass and you're like, okay, no pencils, no nothing, no breathing.
Yeah.
It's like they're just, and then you come out, they like stare at you.
yeah.
Next thing you know, you're in
You're
a
like-
jumpsuit.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, dude, just tell me, did I pass or not? Like,
I mean, just every year, we grow, we learn, and we implement what we learn, and our life can get better every time.
yeah.
As long
Only
as-
if we knew, right?
Yeah.
But even if you knew, you might have done something else. That would have been a mistake again, It's,
But that's what makes your life interesting, right?
Yeah.
Learning throughout the years.
Yeah.
There was I met somebody one day. I was like, he was driving a nice car and all of that. I was like, what do you do for a living? He goes, well, my dad is a multi-millionaire. The car got passed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the dad came out. He's like, I regret giving the car to him. I'm like, why? It was the son that I asked
Yeah.
him. Mainly.
Was he Armenian?
No, he wasn't Armenian. It was the kid. He was not a kid. He was almost my age,
Yeah.
26 years old.
Yeah.
But he was driving almost $1 million car.
Wow.
So I had to know what he was doing.
Mm.
The dad's like, oh, I regret giving him a car or passing down the business and all
Yeah.
of that. I'm like, why do you say that? It's like, because he didn't learn anything. Everything was a pass down. He didn't work for it, nothing like that. And you basically don't know the value of money at that point.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens because you know what it is because especially when you have a hard time, or had a hard time, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, like our fathers or we came here, we didn't have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I know, you guys were not a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
But you want to give your kids what you didn't have, right? But then what you do is you hinder their success too, because now they know what you have. They're like, you know what am I going to work hard? If this guy goes out,
Yeah.
I have money, right?
Yeah.
So, and some kids think that way, and they're like, you know what, my dad has millions. Like that's why Shaq said, you're not millionaires. I'm the millionaire.
Yeah. I heard that
you know?
saying with.
It's not we, it's me.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's basically saying, go to work. I'm not
Yeah.
just going to hand you money. And a lot of people, I think in our culture, we provide so much for our kids.
Yeah.
But a lot of, I knew this guy that was a multimillionaire CEO at a music company.
Yeah.
And his kids, whatever they wanted, they had to work for it.
And that's the right thing
Yeah.
to do.
And when
don't
you
wanna
give,
them. Yeah.
they don't value anything. It's like, imagine if you had $2 million just given to you, would you work as hard as you are now?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You'll buy
I
some
agree.
stuff, you'll go buy an apartment or a few other stuff and end up getting residual income, and you'll be like, okay, cruise control and make money on, a much easier way.
Yeah.